everyone. Welcome back to RTS. Yes, and welcome back to our week 4 of our summer space shape up. And I hope it's all going well for you. And if things are going a little slow, that's okay, because I had 1 week where I didn't really get a lot done, and I had 1 week where I got a lot done. So it's okay if you revisit the previous weeks. And what I did, I just keep copy and pasting the list that I have included below, and I'm checking them off as I go. So maybe that would be a recommendation. Just copy and paste what I have listed below each week, keep printing it out, and just staple them together and keep working through them. So up for week 4, what are we going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to say is, are you maintaining your desk? And, give a look to your left, give a look to your right. What do I have to my left? I have a couple star punches, and I have some leftover pieces. So yeah, I have a little bit of a shape up here to do because I just finished a 2-page Disney page, which that will be coming up. And so what will I do? Well, I will either put them away or, I said put those things in the baskets. Yeah, some Valentine's wash I need to find a home for, some foam tape, which is going to be a video coming up about foam tape. And so just put it in a basket. Okay? Now, if it seems like your basket's getting bigger and bigger, that's okay, but at least it's not on your desk, right? And that's the main thing. Maintain your desk and your work surface. Okay, what about your inspiration? Are you keeping up with putting everything away? And with your inspiration, your sketches, everything will have to be in a binder. And what you can simply do, get a binder clip, put it together, stick it on a shelf, and call it good. Okay? Now, I did want to say I've had some new subscribers, and I want to say something. If I don't have a crafty lunch. Okay, so I wanted to say, if you look below in my description box, I will have a link for a free, and I said free, sketchbook. There is a ton of sketches by the fabulous Laura Whitaker. So I will have that link below. You can pop over and look at those, okay? And I say grab them while you can, while they're still available, okay? Thanks, Laura. Love that. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I put that back because I make sure my sketches stay in good shape. And what do we have next? Cardstock. Yes, cardstock. Have you put your cardstock away? If you don't put it away, at least put it in a pile. Make sure it's off your desk. Just put it on a shelf for right now, and you can get to it when you have more time. And the same thing with your pattern paper. If you have some left over, I just got done finished working on a couple layers, a couple pages, a couple projects. Yeah, I got a lot going on. So I will make sure I either put them in a pile, get them out of my way so I can keep scrapbooking, and then I can address them later. Okay, so what do we have up for week 2 in our summer space shape up? Well, what we're going to do, and what I'm going to say, we're going to address a handful of photos. And honestly, this is what came in. This is what I need to do something with. It was left over, and then I just got a new fresh stack of photos. So, I have to address that this week. I can't just let it lay here. That's not the purpose. Our challenge is to keep our desk area as clean and tidy so we have the space to scrap and craft. Okay, so, what's up next? Okay, so we have 2 new things on our... 2 new things up on the list for this week. Okay, after the handful of photos. And when I say a handful of photos, I'm saying spend 15-20 minutes. That doesn't mean you're going to spend 2 hours organizing the photos on your phone. No, you grab a handful, maybe you upload some, download some, put some away, whatever is in your space right now that needs a little bit of attention, okay? I know I need to back up some photos. That's what I need to be doing this week. Okay, so the next group, what we're going to talk about, well, we talked about cardstock, we talked about pattern paper, so what's up for this week? Are you ready? Paper pads. That's what we're going to address this week. We're going to address our paper pads. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have paper pads, that's okay. You can, just go to the next step. But if you're someone who has paper pads, and I am a big fan of paper pads, especially the new ones coming out. But okay, let me just say one thing about paper pads and I will go on. There will be a video coming up talking about paper pads and something else that's coming up about paper pads. So hit the notification button. Be a subscriber, hit the notification button. You'll see what's going to be coming up with paper pads. So what are we going to do with our paper pads? Well, first of all, if you could just make sure you put them in one area so you can address them later, okay? If you're level 2 gal, you know what we're going to do with them. But so what we're going to do is just put them in one place, and let me make a suggestion, not on the floor. okay? Because I have a tendency to put paper pads on the floor and then I trip over them. I kid you not. So if you do have to put them on the floor, put them in a corner or someplace where you're not, you're not main walk area, okay? So just get all your paper pads together. I have that, and I have this one here that I was gifted, and I need to do something with that, okay? So I need to, I just pulled these out of my inventory, but we have a lot of coming up of my paper pads, so that'll be fun. Okay, so I need to address this. What am I going to do with it? Okay, I don't want it on my work surface, and I need to figure out where I'm going to put this. Okay, so then after your paper pads, you gather them all up, and maybe go to level 2, so we can talk a little bit more about our paper pads. Okay, so then the third thing we're going to do this week, projects. Oh, now what do you mean by projects? Okay, so what we're going to do by projects is, what I would suggest for just the level 1 gals, as I would take a quick look around your area and where you have projects, ongoing projects, we all have them. I don't think I'll ever not stop having ongoing projects. Maybe put them in one area. Now, I don't suggest stacking projects because you kind of lose track of where you're at, but maybe you could, put them in piles, or you could, separate them with, some paper or something that you can separate. So for example, like I have a Disney album going on, I have a Myrtle Beach album going on, I have a month in review album going on, and I have about 4 other projects going on. So what I do is I just basically have them lined up. Okay. Now I'll be honest with you, some of them's on the floor, which I run into problems with that, but that's just my option for right now. And simply what you could do is, if you want to, house them in a box or a bin, something to keep them protected. Okay, so that's what I say. Get your projects in some order. Okay, and that doesn't mean anything detailed, that doesn't mean organized, that doesn't mean labeled, that doesn't mean, maybe it's simply just putting them in a bag, great big 12 by 12 bag. And if you go to my kid storage video, you'll see bags from the Dollar Tree that I am in love with. So that is a great bag. You get 3 for $1 to house ongoing projects, and I'll link that below too. So maybe it would be something as simple as that, bagging up your projects. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. You're going to do the things we just talked about as the previous weeks and maintain them, and that it's okay if you skip one, it's okay if you don't feel like doing one, and it's okay if you don't get them any done. Okay, you can just pick up where we are right now. Okay, so what we're going to focus on is a handful of photos this week. Address your paper pads. Okay, that simply may mean just putting them in one place in a pile so you can address them later. Okay, and there's something coming up, so keep in tune for that. And then also to address your ongoing projects in whatever form you want. I would suggest getting them in a neat, organized fashion. Okay, and then stick with me. Let's go to level 2. Okay, so level 2 gals, what are you going to do? Well, do I even say what we're going to do? I got to put this away here a minute. Do I want to say that we're going to address this basket and bin? Yes, because we have to keep addressing it or it'll just get overflowing. And this is why I like a smaller basket and bin, because if it doesn't fit in this, that means I have to go put it away. Okay, so if things keep adding in and it doesn't keep getting smaller, that's okay. At least you're looking at it, right? Okay, so address your basket and bin, and also to give another pile or the same pile. In my case, I'm still working on the same pile for 3 weeks now, and 15 minutes at a time. Okay, that's all you have to do. So then what we're going to do for the level 2 gals is we're going to do a little bit more with our paper pads. We're not just going to put them in a pile. We're going to actually think, well, what are we going to do with them? Okay, and you don't have to get anything hot and heavy this week, because that'll be coming up on this channel. Okay, so just stay tuned for that. But what I would suggest is maybe looking at them a little bit more. Maybe looking at some that maybe you don't like, and then maybe, let's say, take a little bit of an inventory and say, I have 10 Christmas pads, I have 4 Valentine's pads, and I have 6 pads that have to do with Halloween. Okay, and maybe just do a quick look, and that way, this fall and winter season will be coming up before we know it, and then you'll know in your brain, you'll have a visual inventory of what you need to buy and what you don't need to buy. But I would suggest just put them in a pile. look through them. Put them in group by categories, how you scrap. And again, there will be more details about that in an upcoming series coming up. So keep an eye out for that. But, you know, do a visual inventory. Spend about 15-20 minutes looking at things. And if you see something that's just not, you're not in love with it, purge it, donate it, give it to someone else who will love it. You know, pare down a little bit. And if you're someone that, you know, you don't have enough, you don't have very many paper pads, take an inventory of what maybe you're missing and then write it on your wish list. Okay. So then what are we going to do with our projects? Like I said, for level 1 gals, you know, find something that you can house and protect your ongoing projects. And then what we're going to do in the level 2 is we're going to make a list of our ongoing projects. And I have really left this go, and I feel like I got projects going everywhere. I got notes everywhere. I got things everywhere. Okay, so this is something I really want to focus on this week because I want to make an ongoing list of my projects, okay? And I simply can just write Myrtle Beach album, you know, my Disney album, my month in review album, yada, yada, yada. But then after we make a list, well, first of all, don't make a list if you don't house this stuff. You know, if you don't have it in a good, if you don't have it put away in such, if you haven't paid any attention to them, you know, put them together in a pile or, you know, house them, protect them is what I'm saying. Then don't bother doing a list. I would suggest simply taking some time, giving them some love and attention this week, putting them in a better fashion rather than just in a pile. That's what I was trying to say. And then go through and say, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is not what I need to work on. And then if you want to take it one more level, give it an assigned date. Yeah, that gets a little bit of thought process, right? Because I know my month in review album I'm getting behind on. So I need to sit down and I need to say, this is the week I need to schedule. And it doesn't mean it's going to have to happen, but at least you're making a plan. Okay, and that was my whole tip. Just start making a plan, a tentative plan of when you want to work on your projects or what you can do. Say if you have 8 projects, you know, and it's okay if you have 10. I probably got 12 going on right now. Maybe just put them in a list of priority. You know, list all your projects here and over here. Give a list of your priority. Okay, and that could be something extra you could do after you get them in a nice organized fashion rather than just a pile. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Address your basket and bin, address a pile that you have going on in your room. It could be a new pile, old pile, it don't matter. And then also to give your paper pads a little extra love and figure out, you know, what you need, what you don't need, take an inventory of them. You know, quick inventory. You don't have to sit there for 3 hours and organize them. We'll talk about that later, okay? And then also, too, maybe a little bit more look into your projects and how you want to plan them and prioritize them, okay? So that is our week 4 of our summer space shape up, and I hope things are going well for you. I tell you what, I'm really getting some things done, but more importantly, I'm also getting scrapbooking done. And so that was my whole purpose of having a summer shape up, where I take my time and attention and keep things clean, work on a few projects that need organized, but at the same time, keep scrapbooking because I don't want to spend all summer working on projects. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is our week 4. Now, what I want to say is next week on our Wednesday will be our July 4th holiday, so there will not be a summer space shape up video because we need to be spending time with our families and celebrating this wonderful holiday of freedom. But I want to say check in on July 4th on this channel because you never know, might be a little bit of a giveaway. Okay, so that's all I have for week 4 in our summer space shape up. So come back to RTS because you never know what we're gonna do. Bye.